Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monet the Creator and I am excited to talk to you today about applying to graduate school. So just to be clear, I will be talking about my own graduate process or graduate application process and what tips I may have specifically from my experience in another video, but I really just wanted to talk about what the application process looks like in general for a PhD student, at least in STEM in the biosciences. So with that, we're gonna get started first with our application components. So you'll have to present some form of a CV or a resume. The thing that you wanna emphasize the most is your research experience, as well as any leadership positions or things that make you unique. You will need to submit a personal statement. So your personal statement is honestly the university's opportunity to really understand who you are, the admissions committee. And honestly, you need to try to put your best foot forward in your personal statement, really talk about why you have a passion for science, why you want to get a PhD, why the PhD is going to help you get to your next level. You will also need to upload transcripts. So I will say that I had a very special case that I believe I technically had four universities that I had gone to, or 4 colleges that I had gone to, that all contributed to my bachelor's degree. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm pretty sure I only uploaded my transcript from the institution I was attending. I don't think I went and dug for the other ones, because I mean, as long as the classes are on that transcript, you should be good to go. But that's just a quick little note. If you're someone like me who did summer school somewhere and then also had an AA degree and this, that, and third, there will be an application fee, but there are fee waivers available. And when I say that, literally email the offices and say, hey, could I please get an application fee waiver? And additionally, you will need recommenders. And with that, I can move into my most important components of this graduate application, and that's going to be your recommendation letters and your personal statement. So your recommendation letters are basically other PIs or professionals that are speaking on your leadership abilities or your ability to be a scientist, your passion as a scientist. And it is extremely important that you choose the best recommenders that you can, because these people are honestly making or breaking your acceptance into this university, as well as your personal statement. As I mentioned before, it is extremely important, and it is so important to really talk about what your passions are in science or whatever field for your PhD, and what you plan to do with this PhD, how this PhD will help you start a business or open a lab or whatever the case may be. Prepare to be humbled. And this is something that someone told me prior to my application process, and I'm so glad that they told me this, but just prepare to be humbled. No matter how many applications you send out, how much of a good applicant you might think you are, how many personal statements you write, there will be people who either don't reply or people who say no. So be prepared to be humbled, and do not take it seriously, or do not take it personally, because at the end of the day, a lot of these programs have so many qualified applicants to choose from, and there's only so many spots that they're able to offer at the end of the day. So in interviews are, at least whenever I was doing interviews, I was doing them virtually, which kind of sucked, but simultaneously it was nice because I didn't have to travel to and from for interviews. And I'll be completely honest, there is absolutely nothing to be nervous for when it comes to the interviews. For the most part, whenever they invite you for an interview, they have already accepted you to their program. And realistically, the only way that you can mess that up is if you do something very outlandish, you're acting inappropriate to faculty or staff, you get extremely drunk, or maybe saying something that could imply that you're very prejudiced. There's a lot of things that you could do to mess it up. For the most part, once you get to the interview stage, there is not a lot of ways to mess it up, except like what I mentioned before, but definitely be mindful of those things. And also take advantage of meeting your cohort, and speaking to upperclassmen. So meeting your cohort or your classmates, your potential classmates, is extremely important because you want to mesh well with the group of people that you will be spending potentially the next 5 to 6 years with. On the note of speaking with grad students, this is extremely important during visit weekends especially. Not always are the interviews, depending on if they're virtual or in person, are you going to get to speak to graduate students, but during those visit weekends, whenever you're invited for them, definitely talk to the graduate students. Listen to how they're feeling. Listen about the way they talk about the program, or what excitement they have, what doubts they may have, what struggles they may be going through. Keep in mind that whatever they say honestly says a lot about their program that they're in and the program that you're trying to matriculate into. Like I said, my interviews were virtual and I only went to 2 visit weekends. One of them was at Northwestern and the other one was at Harvard. The Harvard visit weekend was actually not specific to my program. It was actually ODMA, or basically it's a diversity weekend. I can't remember what the abbreviation stands for, but it's a great chance to just get to meet diverse students. And during that, my eyes were very much open to, oh, so this is Harvard. But once again, I'll touch more on that in another video because that is definitely a tangent. Just in general, I wanted to touch on some lessons that I learned from my graduate application process. And one of the big ones is try your best to know and be aware of what you're really looking for in your PhD. Whenever I applied for graduate school, I applied to, I believe, 5 or 6 neuroscience programs, 2 or 3 developmental biology programs, 1 general biology program, and then my biological and biomedical sciences program, which I guess is also general biology. And I learned in doing these application processes and interviewing with people and speaking with people that I actually did not want to do a degree in neuroscience, despite the fact that my undergraduate degree was also in neuroscience. So try to keep those things in mind. What real topic areas are you interested in, because you don't want to restrict yourself to a certain population or a certain program at an institution. I will also highly recommend to go to as many in-person visits as possible, and that really helps you get a feel of the university. As I mentioned before, you can speak to graduate students that are currently in the program, or just try to meet your cohort members, which is extremely impactful on your decision-making process. And just some final thoughts to share. So first and foremost, for biosciences in general, I'm pretty sure the GRE is no longer required. So honestly, I'm pretty sure my year might have been the first year where the GRE wasn't required, maybe the year prior, but it makes a lot of sense because honestly, the research showed that there was no correlation between GRE score and success in graduate school. So that just takes some weight off of you, and all you have to worry about is your statements, your personal and science statement, if they have 2 different statements, as well as like choosing your best recommenders and being the best scientist you can be in order to shine on this application. I'm gonna circle back to that idea and what I mentioned before about fee waivers. Like seriously ask for fee waivers. And I can talk more about this later. At one of the institutions, like I sent them an email asking for a fee waiver, and I believe I ended up paying for it like the day before it was due, and then the day it was due they responded to me and gave me a fee waiver. So seriously, like definitely ask for it, and I suppose wait to the last minute to submit those applications if you're waiting on a fee waiver. Most of all, and most importantly, listen to your intuition. Whenever I was visiting schools, I mean, I said I visited 2 schools. The first school, it was great. I thought the people were great. It was a neuroscience program, but something about it just wasn't quite right for me. I don't know what it was, but like it didn't quite feel like the place that I wanted to be. And I believe the following weekend was my visit to Harvard. And when I was there, I met just students that made me feel welcomed. And then I also met students that are in my class, in my cohort, or maybe in adjacent programs that really just made me feel like Harvard could be a home for me. And that was a very special feeling, especially like this was the only Ivy League I applied to. So with that, that is all I have to share for our video today. As I said before, I can definitely share some more specifics about my application process and experience in another video. I just didn't want this to be too long, but I'm very happy if you got to the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see in future videos, and I will catch you next time. This has been Monet the Creator. Goodbye.